Hey everybody, welcome back to the Square to Circle Music channel. Here we are again, making a video. This once again is going to be a correction slash clarification video, an addendum to my second episode where we talked about a list of 10 of my favorite lesser known and or underrated prog rock albums. Not too much to go over this time, trying to be really careful about the things I say. I'm not always very careful. Some colorful and crass things tend to slip off my tongue quite often. It's all fun and games. This is not a channel for children, so I hope you're not letting your fucking children watch this shit. Anyway, we're gonna get right into it. First little oopsie daisy, not really an oopsie daisy, just a clarification. I was talking about a band that I love dearly, and an album called The Black Chord by a band called Astra. They hail from San Diego, California, and I mentioned that their second album was released in, I believe I said 2008 or 2009, somewhere in that ballpark. I double checked that number just to make sure. It was released in 2012, and I also noticed while I was researching that number that their wiki page, or I think it was their wiki page I looked it up on, it said that they're still active. So, I mean, I don't know what the hell that would mean. But man, that'd be cool if suddenly out of nowhere they got together a whole new kind of faction of the band and started making music again. I hope some of you guys got a chance to check out some of their music, because their music's fucking incredible. It was that group I was saying that's really kind of it's heavily, progressive from the 70s inspired, but also, rock, psychedelic rock, Santana, Sabbath, that kind of, you get a lot of those types of vibes. Really cool fucking band. I wish they wouldn't have just poofed 2 albums and then disappeared, but it happens. I just wanted to make that clarification. So yeah, The Black Chord, released in 2012. My second note here, this was a big one. This was a big oops actually, because I feel really sheepish and stupid for this one, because I was talking about Camel, one of my favorite bands, not just one of my favorite prog bands, but one of my actual full-on big-time favorite bands. And I get in front of the camera and I get all clammy and I say the wrong thing quite a bit. I was talking about their first self-titled release and then their subsequent release, which was their real big smash introductory to the world of rock and roll. And I think I said 69 or 70 for their first, and followed it up in 71 or 72 probably, I said, with Mirage. Totally incorrect. First self-titled album in 1973, and Mirage was in 1974. So like I had been mentioning prior to that, I was saying how the giants who were kind of at the forefront of creating this new genre in the late 60s and early 70s, they were at the crest of that wave. And I had mentioned, bands like Camel, and I think I mentioned Ambrosia as well, were kind of on the tail end of that big wave. So in that respect, I was correct. My dates were just a little wonky by about 3 or 4 years. So very sorry about that. Camel, amazing band. Got their start a little bit later in the early 70s, and then of course achieved pretty serious notoriety and some real monster success actually in the mid 70s with releasing the Snow Goose and then a few months later their Moon Madness album. So yeah, everyone check out Camel's extensive career. Sorry about the oopsie daisy. And then again, yes, I mentioned the band Ambrosia, and while I was just yakety yakking, I said they were probably from the Eastern Seaboard. I always just kind of assume that bands are just from the East Coast. I don't know why. They're actually from LA. Ambrosia started in LA. So big, and when I go back and I think about it and I listen to the album, I'm like, oh yeah, those guys totally have a California you know, multi-genre, very, you know, eclectic sound. And a lot of times that real flowery, eclectic, you know, breed will generally spawn here on the West Coast. So yeah, Ambrosia's from LA. Cool band. Yeah, super short list tonight. Just wanted to kind of say, hey, what's up to everybody, and thanks again for any interest you may be getting, you know, in my opinions. And please don't forget, if you watch these videos, I would appreciate, you know, a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you want to do. And if you like what I do, please subscribe. So thumbs up and subscribe, one or the other. You know, I appreciate that type of traffic, and you know, everyone knows how this ridiculous little algorithm works. You know, the more traffic and more little thumbs I get and the more subscribers I get, the more attention I get, and the more they put my face at the forefront of these types of videos where we're talking about music appreciation and sharing and love, and it's just kind of like, let's spread the good word. So yeah, thanks again. The last thing I'm going to talk about, I got all like misty-eyed and kooky when I started talking about Relayer by Yes, their 1974 highly underrated album, because it just holds such a special, very special place in my heart. I won't get into the personal tale, but yeah, I was blathering about that one, and as I was blathering, I was going off about their, you know, opening track to the album, The Gates of Delirium, and how it is. It's like a monumental song. And actually, I looked at the album to double check my time on that, and it's a 21-minute something like that. So I think a 21-minute track. But what I was going to mention about that, I had been rambling for a bit, and I was going over the music in my head, and then they go into this outro, this beautiful, soft, you know, outro to the theme, and how the theme correlates and it recapitulates, you know, that, you know, musical theme like we were talking about. And I was like, and I mentioned it was the second track on the album, and everyone, all the Yes fans are probably going, whoa, asshole, slow down. That's not a second track. That's the outro. Well, like I said, it is. It melts into it. But my reasoning around like how I kind of phrased it that way as it being kind of a second track, I didn't really intend it to come across that way, but I remembered in the back of my head, like how it actually kind of was intended to be a standalone track, because they released it as a single that year. In '74, Atlantic was like, well, where's the single? Where's the album single? And I don't think anything on the B-side, I don't think Atlantic was interested in it at all, and they really loved the soft ballad feel of the outro to Gates of Delirium, and it wasn't a secondary track, it didn't have a title, and so they're like, oh, just, you know, we'll cut it at, you know, 18 minutes, and so from 18 and a half minutes till the song goes out at 22 minutes or whatever, it's like 3.5 minutes or something like that, we'll make that a single. And they did. And I think they just called it Soon. Because I recall researching and seeing about it and hearing about it, and I think I saw, you know, a 7-inch 45 that said Yes is Soon. I don't know what would have been on the flip side. Maybe the Sound Chaser song or something like that. But yeah, how bizarre how marketing works and how they do. So anyway, that was kind of like my inner kind of like thought train, and as I was just kind of spewing and just like getting all hot and messy about that album, and that, especially that song, and how much it touches me, and how much joy it's given me in my life. What a fantastic song. So that is my kind of thought process surrounding all of the weird shit that was flowing out of my mouth. So everybody, thanks again for tuning in, and I hope you continue to tune in. I'm working on another list. It's gonna be great. So please come back and join me on any given morning, noon, or night, whenever you have time. And please don't forget, you know, thumbs up, subscribe. There's going to be a lot to talk about. And eventually, you know, I might give way and stop doing kind of the top 10 type list stuff, and maybe start, like, you know, review an album or something like that. But I've got more to talk about it. It's not just, you know, I'm not going to just keep going on about prog rock. I have many interests, and many things that go on in my music collection. I have just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of records. So you guys are going to see a lot of cool stuff, and thanks again. Love you much. Be good to each other, and don't forget to square the circle.